printmaking itself started in a lithography in Goa in early 1557,
Right.
and this has got somewhere roots attached to Goa also. And I took printmaking on a very serious note because of then my teacher K.S. Vishwambara, who was one of the major factor for it, and again Mr. Hanuman Kamli also, who are one of the finest printmakers we have got in India today.
Namaskar, hello and welcome. You're watching Lockdown Art Series with me, Nagesh Rao Sardesai. As you know, lockdown was implemented in India and that confined us to our own houses. And this led me to think, why not speak to my artist friend? Why not talk to my artist friend? Continue our communication so that we overcome this pandemic. And this was the only way we could do on our own. And this led me to start a series called Lockdown Art Series, where I began to speak with my favorite artists. And today I have a guest who is very close friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, Rajan Fulari. Rajan Fulari and myself were batchmates in Goa College of Art, and then he moved on to do his post graduation from the MS University Baroda in graphics. And further on, he started working on his own before moving to Gari Studio, where he began to work with some of the best known names in India. After working there for a very long time, he put in his papers and joined Lalit Kala Academy as the secretary. Surprisingly, he left that within a very, very short span of time to again move to a very close subject of his, health teaching. And now he continues teaching along with practicing his work of art and also advising young artists. So let us speak to him. A very warm welcome to you, Rajan Bab.
Thank you, Nagesh. It's always a pleasure to be with you, interact with you, and discuss with the different issues. My pleasure.
Pleasure is mine as well. Anyway, let us start with the same question, a cliche question that I have been asking for number of my subjects. That is coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic. That has changed the whole social dynamics, the way we interact, the way we meet. Probably when you come down to Goa, we usually meet, but today we are just thinking of avoiding meeting each other. Let us talk over the phone and so on and so forth. So how do you pursue this coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic and the whole social structure that has changed?
See, on a personal note, as I've experienced, I've been away from my family for a couple of years because of the job issues. But last 6 months, I have been together with my family, my daughter and wife, and it's always like, and I feel like, and recently I met different people also. They say, it's a very nice that we as a Indian society, somewhere we were getting isolated from each other, so it has somewhere connected. It has tried to get that social fabric back in the Indian context. And culturally also, we were like, getting distracted because of the various different factors.
Mm.
And today I feel like, we are trying somewhere level best to going back to our roots, whether it is like the simple person who's working as a labor, or whether it is a person who is working as an officer. They just want to get back to their the roots, which is their villages, getting restarted with the families within the society. And I think this is one of the best thing. No doubt it is a very difficult time. The pandemic, the COVID-19 has really uh, scattered a lot of the lives also.
Yeah.
And it's disturbing, especially as an artist. I feel really pain also, because on the level, like, there are a lot of the people who are into job. It's okay, it's fine. It has disturbed the economics of the individual also. And especially those artists who are been not into job, who are into freelancing, they are really facing tough time.
Mm.
So in a way, it is a tough time also, and I hope the whatever the governments are taking their measures, and that will prove that our economy will revive back to its the normal structure of its own. And my best wishes for everybody, like we should come out of all this negativity, and on a very positive note, we will be in a daily routine back to the normal life.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully, we'll get back very soon.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you see this as an artist now? Has it changed your pattern of working? Has it changed your subject matter or the way you were thinking as far as the content is concerned? How do you think it has changed for you? And as well as how do you think, as you almost said it right now, in fact, but how has it changed for you in particular? And then how do you think the whole artist community is taking this challenge up?
See, I think it has definitely affected each and every person, not only as an artist, but definitely as an artist. What I have seen,
I
we
just
see we being an.
I'll just break you because I am asking you this question because you usually do socially relevant subjects many a times. I mean, take
Oh
Gandhi
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're talking about the topics of the.
content.
Definitely, it has definitely affected the content of my work also, and mm, uh, I have been, as you said, I have been working on the social issues also, whether it is my printmaking or the painting or even installation art also.
Right.
Uh, it has changed the visual language for me also. But if you go back and talk about like how it has affected me as an artist, yeah, definitely. What has happened, see, being an artist, we cannot randomly practice art.
Right.
The material is one of the major factor which is needed to practice your visual art. There's no question, like one can say, yeah, it is, as an artist you can be very free to do work with any methods and any material, that's fine. But being a teacher also, what I've felt with my students are mostly from the rural areas, and whenever I had connected them with the Zoom meeting, with the social media, see, they have been isolated from getting the resources, especially the material, art material. So it is not possible for them individually to practice also, Like supposedly tomorrow, if they want to just practice the watercolor, and if the watercolor paper is not available, the watercolor is not available, they are not being able to do it.
Right.
So it is very difficult for these students to practice. And somewhere this time span is getting, you know
Extend.
cutting off, yeah. So it is difficult. And for me, I have seen it also, like my subject matter has changed a lot. There are certain elements which has come into my works also. Maybe like in a near future, whenever it is possible, I will definitely exhibiting these works also. Yeah, this is what usually.
Let me go back to your childhood. How did art started for you? What was the background, and what inspired you to be an artist?
See, I am a village boy, and art has started, yeah, as a challenge from me, from my uncle, one of the uncle. No doubt, my parents say that there was no painters. I don't come from the painters family, but what I heard, my grandfather was a painter who used to paint the churches and all. But somewhere there is that blood is there.
Mm.
But in real sense, my art challenge started when one of my uncle challenged me to draw a Ganesha during the Ganesh Chaturthi, and he told me, like, if you I draw the Ganesh Murti as a drawing, then he will give me a set of the sketch pen. And that time the sketch pens was one of the
Absolutely, yeah.
very big precious thing for as a
Yeah.
child for us. Yeah. So till now I didn't get the sketch pen, but definitely whatever I am here today, it's all because of him, I would say. And then further nurturing was done through my art teacher, Mr. Ramesh Iyengar. And then I had a very good connections with our very good dear friends, or very well known cartoonist
Cartoon.
Alexis. Then I had interactions with the people like Joel Fernandez D'Souza, and a lot of the other people. These were the people who really, with whom I used to really interact with. And no doubt, I should not forget that I had a wonderful session with you. I still remember the days and night we used to be at your place also interacting on a different issues, whether it is a social, political, and yeah, of course, art. And then I used to personally see a lot of the magazines at your home, and which really helped me out to whatever mindset which I am going through now. It's all because of the childhood memories which I am carrying also. And yes, it is always like, when you are a child and when you are interacting with the different kinds of people, that helps you a lot in today's life phase, I would say. And yeah, that was the way. And then further, Goa College of Art helped me a lot. And then, as you know, we were not aware about the much of the institutions around, though our teachers used to tell us, you go to Baroda, you go to Shanti Niketan, but we were least aware about what is Baroda, what is Vadodara, like how the access students are access to it. I
Yeah.
still, you will be surprised, when I traveled to Mumbai and when I was traveling to Delhi, I was not aware like Baroda and Vadodara are
Same.
both the names were the same names. This
That,
it may looks funny,
yeah.
but this was the fact with us.
No, no.
But coincidentally, I landed up into Baroda. I was lucky enough to have admissions in Baroda Fine Arts faculty, and the teachers. The interaction with the students with the different cultural background, social backgrounds, and then we had geographically they were from the different regions. Like some students were from the northeast, some students were from the south, then Kashmir, Gujarat, and various different places. And interacting with all the students were always like and learning. It was one of the learning process. And this was the way I started with my journey. And then yeah, going then again went back to Goa for a short period in teaching also. And then luckily I was again chosen with the Lalit Kala scholarship also, which took me back to Delhi. And since then, Delhi has been holding me close. And yeah, whatever I'm today, it says like, Janma Bhumi is my Goa, but my Karma Bhumi is Delhi.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is what.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I still remember, tell us something about it because so that our audience, younger ones especially who are inspired or he might be inspired by to take up art. I remember you were also a star Rangoli artist. And Rangoli is a very difficult art because you cannot correct it. Once you have done, you have done. You have done a
Yes,
mistake, you have done a mistake.
yes, yeah,
You were
yeah.
a star for a very long time.
Yes,
I used
good,
to
good.
be at the place where you used to have draw rangolis. So you were tell us about something about your experience then, how you felt like doing that, and what inspired you to do that, and did it help you in further being master in your own line? Because why I'm saying is because rangoli is a very difficult art, at least personally speaking. You cannot correct it, and as probably that helped you to be a better artist, to train yourself as a better artist.
It's a very good thing. Like you reminded me about my childhood memories, sort of like. But yes, on a serious note, Rangoli did help me a lot in pursuing my further studies in fine arts. And again, my I am really grateful to my teacher, school teacher, Mr. Ramesh Iyengar, in early 85s, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Our school was a very pioneer to start with this Rangoli exhibitions or competitions. And I used to, being an artist, I took a part into that. And then on a serious note, I started participating in a various Rangoli exhibitions and competitions. And it really boosted me to take the Rangoli on a very serious note. Yeah, and I still remember I was very used to feel happy wherever I used to go for a competition. I used to get the first prize always.
Mm.
So and then this really helped me out to develop my skills. As you said, it was whenever I used to practice or put rangoli. It was like we used to start early morning, maybe around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and work almost like at a stretch of the 6 hours or 7 hours,
Right.
putting the rangoli of almost like 2 meter by 2 meter.
Right.
So without having maybe just have a cup of tea or something, that's it. But on one stretch, And rangoli, as you said, you cannot recorrect it. It has to be perfect. So yes, it really helped me to develop my skills in my drawing, visual skills of the colors also. And this helped me out throughout. And in fact, I had been always, like, trying to pursue it also, rangoli, on a different level, but somewhere it was not taken further. uh, yeah, that's it. But rangoli was one of the major part of my professional journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And why I said it is because you again pursued something called graphics instead of just
Yes.
painting. Because in
Hmm.
graphics, you have very limited scope of making mistakes. If you do
True.
painting, as far as I know, in
Hmm.
painting you can scrap it off or you can overlay it. But whereas a plate once, with acid and all, it's very difficult to come back to the level that you want it to be. You might have some other effect, but here probably it helped you, and that's what I felt. And you pursued graphics instead of painting more so. Of course, you're still painting. That's not. I'm not denying that fact. But you pursued graphic, which is again a tedious thing. So here something Rangoli was again a tedious thing. You had to continuously
Yes.
do it, work over it. And it was like, okay, fine, we'll do some rough sketch and then move. You cannot do that. You cannot do that in graphics as well. So tell us something about graphics so that our audience and people who want to pursue graphics know how to go about in this field.
See, Rangoli was one of the thing, like, the patience was one of the very major factor.
Mm.
No doubt you need patience for everything, but Rangoli is, as I said, you sit in one place and you draw or paint within that given space. So you have to be totally focused on each and every dot of when you're drawing Rangoli. The similar way, in a printmaking also, you have a fixed plate or a stone or a woodcut or anything. You don't have a second chance to it. No doubt technically you can manipulate a lot of things, that's a different thing. But patience, because of the patience and because of your skills which you have developed, you have to be very serious. And in a printmaking is one of the major, which is the one of the major profession in a present context,
Mm.
which has got a different streams of etching, woodcut, lino cut, lithography. And as you know, printmaking itself started in a lithography in Goa in early 1557.
Right.
And this has got somewhere roots attached to Goa also. And I took printmaking on a very serious note because of then my teacher, K.S. Vishwambara, who was one of the major factor for it. And again, Mr. Hanuman Kamli also, who are the one of the finest printmakers we have got
Right.
in India today. And because of them, I could really take it on a very serious note and spend my most of the time into printmaking studio. And I was luckily enough to get the admission in printmaking itself in Faculty of Fine Arts in Baroda. And there itself, I got access to a very senior printmakers like Jyoti Bhatt, so then Rini Dumal, PD Dumal, Vijay Bagodi, and then you name anything, Sheikh Bai was there, and many other people who the very known printmakers, and interacting with them. And this took a very serious turn in my professional life also. And then further I started pursuing into printmaking because of the Lalit Kala also. I got into job of printmaking, in charge of printmaking studio with Lalit Kala Gadi, where I worked almost for 12 years. And then further I worked in 2 years in Chennai also. This gave me a very wider scope to interact more on a national or international level with the printmakers, artists from a various different sections, whether it is young, very seniors, interacting with them. The mindset of these artists helped me lot to uh, the what I am today.
So you have got number of scholarships, in fact, and you've also been to residencies, art residencies on invitation. Tell us something about it. I think first one you went to was in Sweden, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the first one, very first one, which we went with under the
Hindustan Orient.
The foundation, Hindustan Orient Foundation, where we had some of the other Goan artists, and I was the very youngest then, who
Yeah,
had just passed out from the
college.
college and finished my research scholarship from Delhi.
Mm.
That was in way back in '96,
Right,
I believe.
right.
So we went to Portugal then, and then we spent major of the time with the O Porto, where we had our exhibitions there. Then we traveled to Amsterdam also. So this was the time actually where I got exposed to the very international uh, art imageries, which where we used to, as artists or as the students, we used to see these images with the on our history books. We didn't have a exposure to that,
Right.
but I was lucky enough to get exposed to actual works of the Picasso, Dali, Rembrandt, you name anything, any of the one of the landmark artists, and these works which I saw, and this definitely had a very big impact on my working also, and secondly, then I went to under the. I was lucky enough further to get selected under the British Council on the
Mm. Mm.
Charles Wallace scholarship to
Right.
go to Scotland,
Mm.
Glasgow
Scotland.
Print
Yeah, yeah.
Studios,
I
which
was,
is
I was,
one
I
of,
was thinking about it.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, one of the finest best studios in the world. So see, interacting with these international artist community definitely helps you a lot on a very professional level of understanding. Like, we in India have got a very different way of functioning altogether, whether it is art or you take any other, it is very casual way. But there is in when you go to abroad, you learn the certain professionalism which is supposed to be a very perfectionism. You cannot take it anything which is granted.
Right.
You have to be, whether you, when you are taking a print, you have to be, as a printmaker, you should value that print, whether it is a proof or whether it is a final print or whether it is additions of print. So you has to follow the certain ethics of the printmaking. Like way back in India, we take a lot of things very casually. Now things have changed a lot, because the students, the younger generations and the professional artists, I would say, they get a lot of the exposures because of the social media now, and things have changed a lot. Then further, after Glasgow, I was lucky enough to travel many times to Europe, visit various different galleries in UK or in Europe. This again, I would say, helped me a lot. On a very different levels again. I cannot pinpoint out which other, but there are various experiences which I faced also. Yeah, this these, but yes, on a for a younger generation, what I will feel, these younger generation has got a much more larger exposure now, and they should make best use of it, because the fellowship, the residencies are on the fingertips now. It is not like the earlier days, like, we used to get the information from different sources, then we used to try our level best to apply for it, and then wait for the ages. And then once you are selected out of thousands, you are really lucky enough to have it. But here now the things are, no doubt, it's a tough competition now also, but at least you are aware about what is happening in where. If you take, when we are talking about the lockdown, I can tell you, within lockdown, no doubt, it is one of the very positive things what has happened because of the lockdown. The social media has got most of the artist community together.
Mm.
I don't think any of the artists used to communicate together so much earlier.
Absolutely.
Now you have so many platforms where you are interacting with each other. Like, you are sitting in Goa, I'm in Delhi now, and plus still we can interact with each other. And that, I think, the COVID-19 has played a major role into it. And another thing is that the lot of the online exhibition have started working, which was not there. Though it is no doubt, it is a very virtual exhibitions. Seeing the original works is always a very different thing together. But at least you can expose your own work to the different corners of the world now.
Mm.
And this is what has helped the social media now.
That is right. I would like to ask you, and if you can tell us something about it, because I know you went to Glasgow and you didn't just do that, but you also thought of getting the exhibition here. I remember probably in Goa
Yes,
you had a show.
yes,
So tell us something
yes,
about it as to why did you do that? Because you would have gone there and just probably got yourself educated and come back, but then you thought of doing something more than that, and you got the exhibition here, which was a big thing. I mean, it's not that
yes,
easy to
yes.
just do that. You know, there's a lot of logistic um, efforts you have to
Yeah.
take. Yeah.
Yes, in fact, yeah. I was really lucky enough to be selected for this Charles Wallace scholarships. And this the Glasgow Print Studio had a very keen interest to be show their presence in Goa, to be very specific.
Hmm.
Because see, they used to get the invitations throughout across from the different major institution from the India also.
Okay.
But when I interacted with the directors of the Glasgow Print Studio, managers of the print studio, they were very fond to bring this scholarship, this exchange program down to Goa. But I was lucky enough to, because of the British Council and the Mrs. Godrej, who helped us to bring this show and get the exposure to the Goan artist. And we tried our level best to build up the certain narrative about this scholarship or even the exchange program, but things did not work out. And I think that was the time after that this scholarship got closed down. This exchange program was closed down. It did not continue.
Okay.
Other, yeah, but it's quite unfortunate that we were not being able to take best use of it.
Use of.
And I still remember the manager from Glasgow Print Studio who came down all the way from Glasgow to Goa to during the time of the exhibitions. We had a British Council director who came down to Goa. We had the Firoja Godrej who came down to Goa, and we had a major showing. I think it's, if I have not forgotten, it was in 2002 or three.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I'm not,
Kala Academy.
yeah,
At Kala Academy.
yeah, yeah. And even the media also played a major role. To they gave a
Precisely.
wonderful press coverage for especially about, because of the creating the basic awareness about the printmaking. And that was again one of my very deep interest to get this printmaking scenario active. And as you see, we if you see the proportion, today we have a very number of the very fine printmakers in Goa,
Mhm.
very fine printmakers. Compared to the rest of the India, we have a wonderful printmakers. It's sometimes I feel sad being I am exposed to the other national activities. They don't get much of the exposure. I feel really sometimes, no doubt, they are trying level best because of the social media now. But the exposure which the some of the other printmakers or the other artists which they get on the national level, sometimes I feel they are lacking in it.
Mhm. Mhm. How was your experience as the secretary of Lalit Kala Academy? And because you wanted to do a lot of things as you discussed with me, and also to do something for Goa as well, being a Goan. Everybody does that. So how was your experience there?
I wanted to do the activities on a very national or international level. And no doubt, I tried my level best in organizing within that given time to do my best also, give the exposure to the various different younger artists also and the senior artists also. And the Lalit Kala is ultimately, it is not the place of the certain few people, I believe. Lalit Kala belongs to the artist community of the India. As I said, ki Lalit Kala has got a very major role to play in the artist community socially, or no doubt politically also. It holds a lot of things, but has got a lot of the strings attached to each and every artist. And being a Goan, I wanted, like, lot of the activities to bring back to Goa, because Goa, as you know, is really coming up as a major international art center. We have a major international art activities happening in Goa, which nationally, internationally, artist community,
Mm.
whether it is visual art, performing art, or any art,
Absolutely.
they are all wants to be in Goa. And I felt like, this is the right time that Goa can be a major destination for the visual art. And this breakthrough could have helped a lot of the younger generation of the Goan artists also.
Okay, you are also a teacher. You taught in Goa College of Art as well, and now you're teaching in Lucknow. So how is the experience there, and how do you think the students community, the younger generation, are taking up to art compared to what we used to take art uh, at our times? And of course the exposure is definitely there. How do you think the younger generation can take it further as a professor,
See,
interacting with young minds? You know their minds, and you are also not a person who just goes there to teach, but you also interact and get yourself into it, as I know. So how do you
mhm.
do that? How do you think the younger generation reacts to you? How do you think they are open to ideas?
See, as I started my journey, I would say in a professional journey as a teaching in Goa College of Art
Right.
itself. I taught almost for many years there,
Yeah.
and then I came back to Delhi. But yes, teaching is one of the things, like, where I feel very much emotionally attached to it. The reason being is, like, you are always with the young minds. You interact with them. You have to be updated with the being an artist, the art scenario in India, within Goa, or within a national or international level. And the questions which comes from the younger generations really stimulate you to work within your artworks also, or the activities what you do also. And I believe, like, the younger generation has got a lot of the potentials. They are much more access, as I said earlier also, much more access to various institution right now. Supposedly, if anybody tomorrow wants to take art, it is not like, they have to be within Goa. I believe, like, the being, if we just talk about the Goa itself, then no doubt we have only one art college. But still, I feel like, there are a lot of the art colleges across India. And as I've seen, being outside Goa also, a lot of the students from across different other states, they do take admissions in the different other colleges, whether it is Baroda, Shantiniketan, Chandigarh, Khairagad, or you go to Calcutta, or you go to down south Bangalore, many. So I believe, like, the younger generation from the Goa or any other part, they should change their states and go outside, take the admissions. And there are opportunities right now. You have a number of the scholarships also, which are available from the state government also, or the private government also, because art needs a lot of funding.
Right.
You cannot afford to play around with it. It
Right.
is not like you buy a single notebook and you are there for a whole year. You have to practice. You really want to practice, you have to spend
You
a lot
really
of
need to
those
spend.
sketching books.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
So on a that note, like, the younger generation is much more exposed to the different institutions, and you have online courses also, which they can explore. But definitely online courses are only virtually. When you get into the art colleges, it really affects you with your uh, manual handling of the any art material, and apart from the mental understanding, you interact directly. So one has to take the admissions in the right colleges. And there are different other subjects which are available right now. It is not like earlier days. You have a painting, printmaking, sculptures, applied art, that's it. No,
Right.
now the younger lot whom really wants to get into visual art, they are exposed to so many other things. They can get into the um, animations, 2D animation,
Mm.
3D animation, graphic designing,
Right.
3D graphics, then silicon graphics. So many other exposures are there. So only thing is that professional guiding to the students are very important, and this should come from the school level, and which will help our younger lot to get into the right professional streams of the visual art. And art colleges are really doing good, no doubt. We have to get updated with our syllabus, which is one of my own personal uh, uh, things which I am concerned about, because we have been still following the academic structure which has been laid down by the Britishers. We have not been able to
Update.
uproot our own syllabus as per the academic structure of the visual art course. So it is a high time for us. No doubt there are so many debates which are happening around to of changing the art syllabus, and it has to be changed, but it has to be changed on a very positive note. This will definitely help the when we talk about the getting back to the roots. See, we have so many things like different traditional arts are there, crafts are there. Why not we incorporate this in our syllabus, like what it has been done in other countries also. If we can do that, I think that would be reviving the art and craft of the Indian social streams also, and taking it on the international level and in a very contemporary way of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways of doing it.